Welcome to Eternal Night. Tonight we journey back to one of the most haunting cases in American history. A story that started with three boys riding their bikes home and ended nearly 3 decades later with a truth that shook a nation. This is the story of Jacob Wetterling. It was a calm Sunday evening, October 22, 1989, in the small, peaceful town of St. Joseph, Minnesota. 11-year-old Jacob Wetterling had spent the day just like any other, playing with his younger brother Trevor and their best friend, Aaron. Around 8:30 p.m., the three boys decided to bike down to the local Tom Thumb convenience store. Their mission? To rent a video and buy some candy. The road was quiet, lined with fields and trees, the kind of place where nothing bad ever seemed to happen. On their way back, laughter filled the chilly autumn air. The boys were just a few minutes from home when out of the darkness, a figure appeared on the gravel road. He wore dark clothing, a mask, and gloves. In his hand, he held what looked like a gun. He ordered the boys to stop, get off their bikes, and lie face down on the ground. His voice was calm but commanding. He asked each boy his age, then told 10-year-old Trevor and 11-year-old Aaron to run toward the woods and not look back. Terrified, they did as he said. When they finally found the courage to turn around, Jacob was gone. What followed was every parent's worst nightmare. Within minutes, the boys reached the Wetterling home and told Jacob's mother, Patty, what happened. She called 911 at 9:32 p.m., and the first patrol car arrived just after 10. What began as a missing child report would soon become one of the largest manhunts in Minnesota's history. By dawn, hundreds of volunteers were combing through fields and wooded areas. Helicopters hovered over the farmlands. Police set up roadblocks, interviewing neighbors and drivers. But the trail was cold. There were no car tracks, no footprints, only 3 abandoned bikes lying in a ditch, and the haunting echo of a boy's last moments of freedom. As the days turned into weeks, the town of St. Joseph transformed. Windows filled with yellow ribbons, a symbol of hope for Jacob's safe return. Posters with his bright, smiling face appeared on streetlights and telephone poles. The media descended from across the country, and soon, people who had never met the Wetterlings felt as if they knew them, a normal, loving family trapped in an unimaginable tragedy. But for investigators, the case was a mounting source of frustration. Leads came and went with agonizing speed. A suspicious man was spotted in a van near the convenience store, but nothing came of it. Psychics offered visions. Tips poured in by the hundreds, yet each one led to a dead end. Through it all, Patty and Jerry Wetterling refused to give up. They became tireless advocates, traveling the country, speaking out, and working to help other families whose children had vanished without a trace. Their efforts led to real change. The case inspired new laws, including the Jacob Wetterling Crimes Against Children Act. This was the first federal law to require states to maintain sex offender registries. It later paved the way for Megan's Law, which ensures communities can access information about registered offenders living nearby. Yet, despite all the awareness and legislative progress, Jacob's own case remained heartbreakingly unsolved. Years turned into decades. The boys who had been with Jacob that night grew up, forever marked by the trauma. Investigators retired, and new ones took their place. Case files were boxed up, reopened, and re-examined time and again. DNA testing advanced, bringing new possibilities, and new names surfaced. One of them was Danny Heinrich, a man who had lived nearby in 1989. He had even been questioned in another child abduction case in the same region around that time. But there wasn't enough evidence to connect him to Jacob, not yet. Then, in 2015, a break finally came. Heinrich was arrested on unrelated federal charges involving child exploitation materials. During questioning, investigators began to skillfully connect him to the old, unsolved abductions from decades ago. A year later, after extensive negotiations, Heinrich agreed to a deal. He would confess to Jacob's abduction and reveal where he had hidden the boy's body. In exchange, he would avoid a murder charge, but receive a long prison sentence for his other federal crimes. In September 2016, 27 long years after that fateful night on a dark country road, Heinrich led authorities to a remote pasture near Paynesville, about 30 miles from St. Joseph. There, beneath a thin layer of soil, they found the remains of Jacob Wetterling. Forensic testing confirmed the heartbreaking truth. Heinrich then recounted what had happened. He described stopping the boys, forcing Jacob into his car, and driving to a secluded area. He buried Jacob in a field and went on living his life as though nothing had happened. For the Wetterling family, the discovery was devastating, but it also brought a painful form of closure. Through tears, Patty Wetterling said that knowing the truth, no matter how horrific, was better than living in the endless, gnawing uncertainty. The town of St. Joseph held a memorial. People lit candles and shared stories about the little boy whose disappearance had inspired them to protect others. Jacob's legacy is one of profound loss, but also of powerful change. Because of him, child protection systems were strengthened. Awareness campaigns grew, and countless lives were made safer. His mother, Patty, became a national voice for hope, reminding the world that even in the face of unimaginable tragedy, compassion and persistence can lead to something better. The question, "Where's Jacob?" had haunted an entire generation. Now, the answer finally rested in peace, in a quiet Minnesota field, surrounded by the same kind of night that had once stolen him away. This is eternal night, a reminder that darkness can fall anywhere, even on the safest roads, and that sometimes the light we search for the longest shines the brightest when we finally find it. Thank you for joining me tonight. If you found this story meaningful, please consider liking this video and subscribing to the channel for more. Stay safe and good night.